Hi everyone. So thank you for the previous panels. I feel like the other panel actually told us a bit about what we are going to discuss, but for the sake of it, we'll just go ahead and talk about why Bitcoin, like why not other cryptocurrencies? What is it that makes it so special? So with me, I have brilliant panelists who will take us through their journey and maybe pitch Bitcoin to you if you're not already sold. So my name is Sharon Rugi, I'm the communications lead at Bitrust. Bitrust trades developers and also gives grants to open source developers who work on Bitcoin and supports the ecosystem, in Africa and the global south. So with me, I have brilliant minds, and I love to see the ladies. They're looking beautiful. I'm a clap for the ladies. All right. So first, I'll go. Mary, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do in the space, and maybe anything you think we might need to know about you.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, I want to say that the MC actually pronounced my last name. Thank you. So I'm half Nigerian, half Filipino, and the Nigerians can't pronounce my last name, and she did it amazingly. So thank you. High five to Kenya. So my name is Mary Maswin, and I am the global marketing manager at Fidel and the marketing lead at Bitcoin. So, and we heard our founder come up on stage to tell you about Bitcoin. So I've been in the Bitcoin space as a Bitcoin maxi for about 2 or 3.5 years. My math is not good, so whatever. But I first encountered Bitcoin in 2015 as a freelance writer. I had, one of my clients was like, can we pay you in Bitcoin? And luckily for me, my sister is actually the first Bitcoiner in my family, and she was like, tell them yes. So that's how I earned my first set of Bitcoin. That was way before Lightning. So I had to wait for, 6 confirmations before my Bitcoin came in. It's a lot faster now, thank goodness. So that's how my journey in Bitcoin started. I'm not a technical person at all. I can't code to save my life, and anything technical goes over my head. How many people are like that? Nice, okay, I'm not alone. So when I got into the space, I saw that a lot of developers were like put up here, and I felt like lost in the space. And so I wanted to prove to people that even if you're not technical, you can do something for Bitcoin.
Next up is one of the first maxis I came across on Twitter. So when I was exploring the Bitcoin space, I went into the Bitcoin Twitter, and he was very, how do I say this? He was very opinionative. He will tell you whatever you need to hear, but also in a very strong way. Okay, I'm just being nice. Yeah, so Jason, please tell us who you are, your journey, and
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Jason, one of the co-founders of Tondo. My Bitcoin journey started pre-Bitcoin. I had a startup that was accepting credit cards online through PayPal. It was a crowdfunding platform, and I got deplatformed. PayPal kicked me off their system, and so I had to find a plan B. And plan B ended up being going through the long process of talking to banks and getting a merchant account. And over and over again, we had to constantly replace these merchant processing. So I knew very early on, even before I even heard of Bitcoin, that I needed Bitcoin. And then I read a Slashdot article in, I think it was 2013, 14. And I was like, okay, uncensorable money. That sounds great. That sounds exactly what I need. And I tried to get our customers to use it. It was a very manual process. It was a very painful process back then. But now, luckily, it's much easier because there's so much better tooling. There's Lightning, there's all these APIs, Breeze, Blink. You can just build anything you want these days. It's great. BDK, LDK, a lot of great tools out there for all you entrepreneurs and creatives that want to reach out and build something. And yeah, just to build on what Mary was saying, like there's so many opportunities in this space, right? We need designers, we need developers, we need project managers, we need content creators. Anything that you love doing, you can apply Bitcoin to it, and you can provide value back into the Bitcoin community. Because unlike these other tokens that can just mint imaginary money out of nothing and then go sponsor hackathons, Bitcoin doesn't have that. There's no central organization that's coordinating all this. It's all of us coordinating all of this. And so you can contribute into the community and provide value, and luckily, Bitcoiners will give you so much love back. Like, everyone's given us Tondo so much love and appreciated what we're building, and everyone will do the same for you. So go out there and build.
Next up, you've had him talk, but he's also a brilliant developer. So Fidel, please tell us more.
Hi everyone. My name is Fidel. As Sharon has said, you've heard me talk a lot here on stage, so I don't want to steal the show. But yeah, primarily I'm a developer, and unfortunately I'm a founder of Biitka now. And I think it's my ability or personality to be able to identify the challenges that are present or the community is facing and getting to act on that. I think that's one thing that has led me to be here today as a founder of Biitka, and I think it's a very crucial challenge that really needed to be addressed in order to improve Bitcoin adoption. So yeah, basically that's me. Bitcoin has impacted me in various ways, financial ways and non-financial ways. It's in some ways it's also changed my morals and my values because of the awesome space, awesome community, Bitcoin community we have. So yeah, Bitcoin has really changed my life. That's it.
You're supposed to introduce yourself and say what else? Yeah, we're working on Tando, and I think we've talked about it a lot, but we give you the freedom to spend your Bitcoin anywhere in Kenya right now, so you have no excuse to live on a fiat standard anymore. You're Bitcoiners now because you've done this course, you're graduating on this side, and on this side, I'm assuming all of you are Bitcoiners. And we are always preaching about financial sovereignty. So what's the purpose of that if you are still relying on traditional payment methods to, make your payments day to day, and you have a solution now, Tando. So everyone who has come here, they've talked about freedom and how Bitcoin just, gives you this freedom, and that's what we are doing at Tando. And personally for me, I look at Bitcoin as a tool that helps me gives me the freedom to live life and not just exist. And I want you to ask yourself a question today, like, am I truly living life or am I just existing? Because the fiat system, it makes us just exist because it glues you to these, it's called the treadmill. Because of inflation, your money is losing value. So you constantly have to keep running and chase that money. So in that process, you waste time, or you don't have time to spend with your family. You don't have time to practice your talents, learn new skills, like do the things that make you happy. You don't have time to, or even the finances because of inflation, to like travel and experience this world that we were put in to just be humans. And fiat steals that from us, like the real human experience that we are supposed to have. There's so many mountains to be hiked, so many lakes to be swum at, like there's so many people out here in the world that you're supposed to meet. But because of the broken money system, you cannot do that. But finally, Bitcoin presents us an opportunity to go out there and live life and be a human. Like, I'm so passionate about this, I'm sorry. And I hope, like, when you walk out here today, you go and sit down and ask yourself, am I living life or am I existing? Am I just existing? And Bitcoin is the tool that gives you the freedom to live life, to go out there and just be. And I hope yeah, you become a Bitcoin advocate. I hope you use Bitcoin and just be a great Bitcoin disciple or student or whatever. Thank you.
Wow. Sabina, you guys just spoke so passionately, and you can feel it. It's like they're about to come here and like, Holy Ghost fire! Anyway. Yeah, I think once you understand what Bitcoin is and what it does for you, then you get that passion. So I'll pose this question to Mary. So Bitcoin has been, people have said that Bitcoin is a tool for the African ecosystem. So why do you believe that Bitcoin is relevant and valuable for us in this continent?
That's a really good question, and the best way for me to answer is through my personal experience. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm half Nigerian and my family lives in Nigeria. Kenya is very lucky because they have Tando, but in Nigeria, we're coming up, right? But making payments is extremely difficult, especially when you want to make payments abroad. So when I got into Bitcoin or had my first Bitcoin, my sister, the reason why she got into Bitcoin was because she was trying to solve a payment problem that my father had. My father is in the IT space, and he had to pay for domain names, and you don't have African providers for that, as at that time, that was 2015. And so in order to make payment, he had to pay an American company to renew the domain. Unfortunately, none of the cards worked. There's no PayPal in Nigeria. At least you guys have, we don't. There's no PayPal in Nigeria. There's no Stripe. So he was trying to find ways to make payments. Because you have clients, you have to make the clients happy. So my sister found Bitcoin, and at that time there was like a provider that allowed you to pay Bitcoin with a card. And that's how my father was able to make payments, and our clients were happy. We had food on the table, which is awesome. So that's just, and another example is the Central Bank of Nigeria issued this regulation where a Nigerian can only spend $20 using their card for international transactions. Which, for a month, by the way, not a day, a month. And in Nigeria, we are known to be very entrepreneurial, and we import everything, even up to like toothpicks. So making only $20 payments was like really low, and that caused a serious hurdle. Even me, I travel for work a lot, and when I get on the airplane, that's when my fear starts. Because I'm like, what if something happens? What if I get hungry? What if my plane got delayed? What if I need to get into a hotel? There's no way for me to pay. I literally was moving around without a card, just vibes in inshallah. But because of Bitcoin, now payments become a lot easier. I don't have to be afraid of going out there. Like, Tando has given me so much freedom in Kenya. By the way, I think only women can understand this, because like when you don't have money and you have to move around, it's scary. And a lot of us women understand that. So it's like I did not have freedom, economic freedom with my Nigerian bank card, but Tando has made it possible for me to do a lot of things. And that's the beauty about Bitcoin. Secondly, like I said, I'm half Filipino, so I have family in the Philippines. Sending money to the Philippines was extremely difficult, even as a young child. I saw my mom, what she did, how she sent money home, was she would put money into an envelope, then she'll take the money, like $10, she'll take, those pictures that you print, right, from the photo studio. She'll put one picture, money, sandwich it with another picture, wrap it with carbon paper. Carbon paper is that black paper that you put on top of your receipts that you can write and it copies. So she'll wrap it with carbon paper, put it in an envelope, tape the envelope, yeah, and then post it in the post box and we wait for probably 3 months before it arrives in the Philippines. If you do a Google search, Philippines is very far away. And by the time it arrives in the Philippines, there was an issue back then where the people in the post office would open letters because Filipinos always send money. So they'll pick the money from there. Luckily for my mom, nobody picked the money from the envelope, but just to tell you how difficult it was. The first time I sent money to the Philippines and it went like that, I almost cried. Because I realized how difficult, I've seen how difficult it has been, but Bitcoin has made it possible for me to directly connect with my family in the Philippines. And we're all the way from Africa, which is already hard. So Bitcoin is such a powerful tool, and I really encourage people to start building on Bitcoin because it's literally life-changing for a lot of people. And I hope my stories were able to prove that point to you guys as well.
Thank you so much.
So, just to add on to the question that Sharon issued, I think this issue is heavily present in Africa precisely because we are not very well off, like financially included. I mean, okay, I'm not sure about the statistics, but most of us in Africa are not really banked. And I mean, so this means that there's no place for me to like put or store my money. There's no like a secure way for me to like store the money that I earn. Let's say probably I run a business somewhere in Kibera or Madare, and I receive fiat. So the fact that I'm not banked, I don't have a place where I can store my money safely. So I think most of the time, what has been happening is that they have a physical vault of fiat where they store their money. I think most of us relate to when our parents used to store their money under the mattress or somewhere in the drawer, and we used to steal that money. And so that shows you just how insecure that system is, and that is the problem we're dealing with in Africa. And so Bitcoin enables you, as a parent, as a business owner who is not banked, who is unbanked, to like securely store your money and in a place where you and only you can access and authorize transactions. Because with your physical vault, let's say you live somewhere in Samburu or somewhere, so let's say a place where flood is a real issue. Like it's easy for you to like lose your money plus your house, and that shows you how that system is not safe. So Bitcoin provides a solution for you to securely store your money and makes it easier for you to like make transactions. How many of us have tried to like even open an account via the bank? We're happy to lend a bank, and we've witnessed the process that is involved for you to actually get banked. Like it's so heavy and it's so secluded. And so with Bitcoin is open for everyone. You're free to experience Bitcoin without anyone's permission. You can spend your money whenever you want. Yeah.
Whatever Fidel and maybe said reminded me of a conversation I had with a friend, and they said Africa is not colonized, or so we say, but the way our money works, we are still being controlled by someone, and it's about time we take back our power. I think I'll take this next question to Jason. You have been in the space for quite a while. So how do you think Bitcoin is going to evolve in the next 5 to 10 years? What are some of the trends that maybe you anticipate?
Let's see, in the future, like Bitcoin builds on layers. So for the first, let's call it 12 years or so, it was all about the base layer. And the base layer focused on security and decentralization first and foremost. Because without that, you've got nothing. If it's not decentralized, some angry people that don't want to see their power get taken away are going to come take away that network, right? So it has to be decentralized. Second, it has to be secure. No one's going to put value in something that is not secure, right? So those are the two primary, on the stool, the three legs of the stool. You've got decentralization, security, and speed. Bitcoin, on purpose, sacrificed speed for the sake of the other two. You can only pick two of those three, right? And so the base layer is absolutely secure and absolutely decentralized. And so once you have that foundation, you can start building layers on top. So you can make up for the lack of speed on layer 2, which is what we see with Lightning Network, which is like instant, right? And I don't know anyone that needs transactions faster than instant, because what's faster than instant, right? So great, now we've solved for speed. The next thing I think we'll start seeing is more development around privacy, where you see things like Fedimint, things like Cashew, which is eCash, where you've got basically mini banks that are all pegged to the Bitcoin protocol. So you can't devalue or you can't steal from other people. You're putting trust in this mint, which issues these tokens, which gives you tons of privacy within this network. And you don't have to go broadcast your transaction to the public ledger on Bitcoin. So yeah, I think that's the future of eCash. And Lightning will be used as the network layer across the whole world to transfer value.
Okay, interesting thoughts. Thanks. So one of the things that you need to know about the Bitcoin ecosystem, it's a growing space and there will always be development. So I think even if you're graduating today, stay on the node, go on Twitter, read articles. Mary mentioned that you can literally be paid to read. So yeah, it's an evolving space. If you can, also go to events where they talk about such things, and just stay on your tippy toes. The next one.
I'll just have one more thing, and that is, the future of Bitcoin is whatever you create. So go create it. It's permissionless, so go build it.
Yeah, and on that note, we do have a builder. Hi, Fidel. You're looking at me like I'm going to punish you. So yeah, Bitcoin, you are building, yeah? And as a developer who is building tools or have seen some of the tools that have been developed, what are some of the unique technical and considerations, especially within the African context, that you think one should put into consideration while building, such applications?
Yeah. So I think specifically in Africa's context, we undergo several challenges, especially in technology. One of them being adoption of technology, and I think what hinders adoption is how technical the technology is. Like the technicalities that come with the innovations, come with the projects. I think that's something that has hindered adoption of Bitcoin in this case. So I think you asked about some of the Bitcoin projects that I've seen that are working, and I would love to highlight Tando. Everyone here loves Tando, loves using Tando, and like immediately you transact with Tando, you're mesmerized by the simplicity and the beauty of it. And I think the simplicity of the product is what is what wins the people, is what enables us to improve like the adoption of Bitcoin. And so I think this involves much of meeting the user's needs, like understanding what your user wants, getting to interact with your user, and not letting your potential user come to meet you at your product. You're the one as a developer or as a builder who's supposed to get to the ground, understand the needs of the user, and build a personalized tool that will be able to solve their needs immediately. Yeah.
Okay. I think one of the things that were mentioned is we should build for our challenges. So I pass on this challenge to you. If you're a developer, if you're a technical person, heck, if you're a creative, may you say thank you. Yeah, please use your skills to build for us, build solutions for our problems. Next, I will go to Sabina. Hi. So you have worked in different capacities within the Bitcoin space. In your experience, what are some of the challenges that hinder adoption, and maybe how can they be addressed? I know you've already addressed one with whatever you're building, but tell us more.
What hinders adoption? So first of all, it's education. Like Felix highlighted earlier, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I remember when I was first introduced to Bitcoin back in 2018, it was through a scam. That was my first interaction with Bitcoin. People were scammed in the name of Bitcoin. And this is because these scammers, they were taking advantage of us, normal users who didn't have knowledge and information about Bitcoin. So unfortunately, that's how many people first interacted with Bitcoin, including my mom, my aunties. Every time I would mention Bitcoin, it's like, you're a scammer, you want to steal money from us. And I feel like that is still happening. So one of the biggest hindrances is education, and that is why I really appreciate what the co-dad, shout out to Felix, what Linda is doing, Bitcoin Kaka, Bitcoin Dada, Bitbiashara, like all these education initiatives, because I feel like that is the first step into getting people into the Bitcoin space. The other one, like Fidel was highlighting, is build for the people, make your apps, these Bitcoin apps, make them simple, make them intuitive to a point where even your grandma or your nephew who's 4 years old, they can use it, because that's another hindrance. People think Bitcoin is complicated, it's just for the smart people or the rich people. But if we introduce these simple tools to them, if we integrate, maybe with Tando, we've integrated with a node system that most people are still familiar with, that helps people to see Bitcoin not as so alien, and it becomes so easy for them to understand. So it's education and meeting people where they're at, build for the people, go to the ground, ask them what do you want, and let's all be disciples. I don't have a better word, but let's be disciples of Bitcoin. Now that you have this Bitcoin knowledge, to the new graduates, go and spread it to the next person you're sitting with. Even when you're riding in a matatu, spark that conversation. If you love tipping, this is how Tando came about. We love tipping people like Uber drivers, waitresses. We just start a conversation, and we started tipping them in Bitcoin instead of Kenyan shillings. And you'd be surprised, people are open to wanting Bitcoin. They want to know more, because the system, the current system, is failing, and people are looking for alternatives. Even subconsciously, they want plan B. They don't even know it yet. So when you introduce this Bitcoin to them, it's a lifesaver. So be a disciple, go out there, spread the word. And just to one final point, Sharon was saying, you need to ujitume in this space, basically. I was talking to a few graduates outside earlier. Now Felix has given you the foundation, he has laid the foundation. Now it's up to you to go out there and look for opportunities or look for gaps that you can fill in. He's not gonna come and do that for you. So we have to be very intentional with Bitcoin. I don't know, it starts with you, it starts within you. Look for those opportunities. go on Twitter. The good thing about Bitcoiners is they're like really nice and down to earth, and they're willing to help you in any way they can. If you have an idea, share it with them. If you feel like someone can help you with it, share. So be intentional, be a disciple, and go ye for them, spread the gospel of Bitcoin. Yeah.